Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And welcome everybody to another episode of Positive Talk with, me. And I'm happy everybody's here. And this is going to be a very special episode. So I hope that you will sit back, call your friends, tell them, hey, on Positive Talk, there's a very special episode that's about to be played and run. And that I hope that you'll do that and invite your friends along. The first people I get to have a conversation with is my co-host on Fridays. She's a lovely lady, and she brought along a fella along with her. And let's bring them on right now. And Dana, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Kevin. I'm so excited to be here. This is a really, really incredible opportunity and episode for me personally. I get to introduce our listeners and everyone viewing people that are near and dear to my heart. So I'm extra excited today.
And I've known you for somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 years, and I've been trying to get the gentleman sitting to your right on the show for at least 4 years. And would you like to introduce the fine-looking man next to you?
Yes, this handsome man right here is Jeremy Meldrum, and he is my boyfriend now of 3 years. And yeah,
3 great years.
3 great years. That's true. That's true. He's taught me so much. He makes me a better woman, and I feel very, very lucky to have him in my life.
And I feel the same.
I want to make sure that everybody knows that there is a high likelihood that Dana's going to cry during the show at one point, or maybe 3.
It's high.
Hi. I might put it at about 99.959s.
Indeed, but that endears her to our hearts, and because her heart is always so wide open and with folks. We are going to be talking about Jeremy. We're going to be talking about somebody who you have known for 22 years now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Years.
So I know it's crazy. 22 years. Yeah. So this is my son Hyrum that we're actually going to be discussing and talking about. He is my number 2. So number 2 of 6 kids. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Between them, they have got a baseball team.
Yeah,
true. That's true. Yeah,
that is absolutely
a lot of boys.
True.
A lot.
Baseball team, soccer team, football team. All 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, they play it all.
I had 2. That was too many. I don't know how you did 6 and 4, which makes 10. So
Yeah. Valid, Kevin. It's valid.
Well, luckily they come one at a time.
Luckily they come one at a time, and you just learn to manage. You just learn. You learn as you go.
It's like a frog in boiling water. You put it in 1 degree at a time, and you don't realize until you're boiling. You're like, wow, I've got 6 kids.
Well, I got to ask you. One of the major questions of the day will be, how many gallons of milk do you go through a week?
Yeah, well, so early on, we went through easily 1 to 3 gallons, and just my teenager right now, a week. Just my teenager right now, he begs me to buy milk, and he goes through at least 1 gallon a week.
It's true. One
single teenager.
And how many boxes of cereal?
Bulking season.
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, he's always like, it's bulking season. He comes in with food, and the plate is like this big. It's mounded to the top, and I'm like, is that for 3 people? He's like, no, this is for me. And yesterday he did meal prep himself and cooked a week's worth of food, and my fridge is completely full of just crazy amounts of food.
Good for him that he's able to cook.
You know what? All of Jeremy's kids are incredible. And let's talk a little bit about Hyrum for a minute and our experience with Hyrum and a little bit of his background.
Absolutely. No, Hyrum. So Hyrum's number 2, and Hyrum can also cook too. But Hyrum, from a very young age, was a very curious kid. He loved bugs. And he loved games. Was actually one of the things that he absolutely loved. He was very competitive in all the games. I had very few people in my life that were actually highly competitive from a game perspective, but Hyrum, from an early age, immediately saw me as a target or
the person to beat.
Yes, the person to beat was Dad. And if you could do that, you had accomplished something. Right. And so he was very competitive, and chess to this day, I don't know if I've ever beat him in chess, just to give you an idea. So he made sure he knew how to beat me, and he's been a great rock within the family, even at a young age. And so just very consistent, kind of a rule follower a little bit, rules were really important to him, and it created structure in his life.
If you're sitting out in our audience, I can just imagine you saying to yourself, okay, great, these are nice people, but why are we talking to them? Because there must be something more here than we're going to talk about. So Dana was up until the wee hours of this morning putting together this little video that I'm going to play for you now, and this will fill in the blanks and give you, Dana, give me.
Yeah, let's just share a little bit about this last year and year and a half, and
sure.
About Hyrum and this story.
Yeah, so with Hyrum, we just talked about kind of as just a quick glimpse into his childhood, and now you fast forward into 18, 19 years old, and Hyrum had decided, kind of at a young age, that he wanted to go on a service mission for his church, the LDS church. And so he actually went to Argentina, foreign country. He paid for his whole mission, which was just incredible. Worked 2 jobs before to make sure that he could pay, for that mission. Went on his mission, and about 45 days before he came home from the mission, I got a call from the mission president. And the mission president said, "Hey, I've got Hyrum here, and we have something we want to discuss."
Yeah, and his companion.
And yeah, just to rewind, just a little bit is right before we get this call, during the call, the mission president starts talking and said, "Hey, just so you know, Hyrum's had a cough for the last 3 to 4 months, and his back's been hurting." And so his companion was like, "Hey, I can pop your back. I'm sure that'll solve the problem. This ache and whatever in his back." And so he grabbed him, just kind of shook him or whatever. And basically the next day he couldn't walk. And so, which was pretty rough. And so they took him in to get an MRI, and found out his back was broken. So.
And that was the moment where the scans came through, and they knew that there was something more going on, because they saw things on the scan that weren't really normal. And that's where Jeremy got the call from the mission president.
Yeah. And so they said, well, due to the irregularities in the scans, we think Hyrum should come home. So basically they put him on a first class ticket. And he got off the plane and literally couldn't walk. And so we wheeled him straight to the hospital. And I don't know how far you want me to go.
That's great. Yeah. Straight to the hospital and what?
Yeah.
What
did
they tell you?
So we went straight to the hospital, Primary Children's Hospital, one of the top hospitals here in the country. And we found out that he had stage 4 cancer. He had a mass, I think it was 8-centimeter mass, next to his lungs and heart. And, at 20 years old, it's pretty devastating as a father, because you always think that you'd be the first, not your kid to be having to deal with that, at such a young age. And so it was a miracle that we found it when we did, and that Hyrum is really still alive, but he was there for 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
and they actually said that if he would have stayed the 45 days that he had left on his mission, he would have died on his mission.
Yeah.
And so it was such a gift that his back actually was hurting and then it broke so that they could catch it on time so that we could still have time with him. And so that was one of the big miracles. And the next miracle I really wanted to share in pictures and in this story. And so we've made this video to share this next amazing miracle that will lead us into the rest of the show. So Kevin, go ahead and play the video.
I suggest everybody get a Kleenex or
yes.
This video is really, really heartfelt. This is about Hyrum, and we'll talk about the others in a few minutes.
So after we got the news that Hyrum had stage 4 cancer and that he was not going to be cured, after several months in the hospital, he was able to come home and live life, as normal as possible. And one of the interesting things that actually took place with this is that his girlfriend from high school ended up coming and visiting him at the hospital. And I just never imagined that this would actually take place, but she fell in love with him again, and they hit it off, and she ended up proposing to him and wanting to marry him, and basically said that pretty much, I'm either going to date you, and when you pass away, I'm going to be heartbroken, or I am going to marry you and be heartbroken. So either way, I'll be heartbroken, and I'd rather live the rest of my life, or the rest of your life, with you, being married to you. So
they've been such a great example of love, and Sophie and her commitment to Hyrum and soaking up every moment. We really have loved witnessing their love story and who they are, and their marriage and their life after. And so we've put together some highlights of these miracles and moments that we've soaked up with Hyrum and Sophie and their story of who they are, and the miracles that we've experienced over the last year and a half. So take a moment and enjoy.
Let it go, let it roll right off your shoulder, don't you know? The hardest part is over, let it in. Let your clarity define you in the end. We will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain. Let it slide. Let your troubles fall behind you. Let it shine till you feel it all around you. And I don't mind if it's me you need to turn to. We'll get by. It's the heart that really matters in the end. Our lives are made in these small hours, these turns of fate. Every twist and turns of fate. Time falls away. Yeah, but these small hours still remain. Oh, they still remain. These little wonders, all these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away. Oh, but these small hours, these little wonders still remain.
And it is with much humility, much appreciation, and love, I want to introduce everybody to Hyrum and Sophie. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey
Hello.
everybody.
Hi, we're so excited to be here.
Awesome. We're so glad you're here.
Yes, I just gotta say that was a very beautiful video and it definitely brought a lot of memories back. That's for sure.
Yes.
Good. That was my hope.
It was really was pretty, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house, I'm sure. I know there wasn't yours.
Right. It's true.
But guys, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate you being here. Hyrum, when I heard your story, it was like, holy Moses, how can that be? A young man of 21, 22, and then I heard about Sophie. I heard about you, and I got to tell you, you're pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
I want to
She's
thank
an
you for being
incredible addition. We love
Mhm.
Sophie. Sophie is this incredible mix of sass and sweetness, and she's adaptable, but she knows what she wants, and she just has this really great balance and brings a lot to Hyram's life. So, and to the family. She's so fun to be around. So it was such a great addition, and it was such an honor to witness all of the unfolding after this cancer diagnosis, and to see their life happily even after the cancer diagnosis. So what I'd love to do actually is to hear from you guys. And let's rewind back a little bit of your backstory. How did you guys meet? And when was what were the first beginnings of your relationship?
Yeah, sure, I can start. Well, we met actually. We had met at a couple like little parties and gatherings. Or we had like mutual friends basically that helped us get to know each other slowly, and we weren't like, I guess, super interested in each other at the very start. We were just all friends. Like we would just all hang out together and everything. But I'd say it kind of changed a little bit when we had a class together.
Yes.
And we went on a field trip and basically spent the entire field trip together. We went to Antelope Island at the Salt Lake.
In Salt Lake, Utah. Yeah.
Yep. And spent basically the entire trip together just getting to know each other. And something to know about us is we're both pretty shy, actually. So it was pretty hard for us to like, I don't know, like get out there.
Yeah, I mean, that was really the beginning. It took a long time to to obviously where we are now. I mean, that was, years and years ago. So, it takes us a long time to really open up and stuff.
Yeah. But we ended up going to a dance together and really hitting it off. And I always I wanted to kiss her because she was so awesome and everything, but I was so scared. We had to almost plan it.
Which is, it fits me because I'm a planner. I have to plan.
Yeah.
So, it really worked for us,
Yeah,
So-
it really worked for us.
But yeah.
So what was it like? 1, 2, 3, ready, go.
Kind It's more like we like planned a date, and I'm like, I'm gonna kiss you on this date, just so you
So
know.
be prepared.
You know,
So be prepared.
Yes,
Oh, I love
yes.
that. That is so fun. I love hearing that. I did not
It's
know
also
that.
just to like give me the courage to actually do it, even though we like both really liked each other at this moment. It wasn't like, oh, I don't know if she wants to kiss me. It's like I knew she did. It just we were both so scared, kind of. And this is in high school. I don't even.
It was probably at the beginning of our senior year, I think.
Yeah.
And we had been friends for multiple years before that. So it took we didn't start dating until our senior year. And
Well, it's a big step. That
That
is
is-
a big step.
Yeah. And then I eventually, I decided to go on a mission. And so this is actually during COVID time. So during COVID, because we both graduated 2020. So we were just working, and then eventually I wanted to go on a mission. And that's when we kind of, I guess, broke it off a little bit. I mean, it's long distance, and long distance is really hard to do. So we didn't talk as much during the mission, but it was really after the mission when I came back where we hit it off again.
Can we share a
connected.
little bit of that
Yeah.
story? That's kind of fun and bring Jared
yeah,
into it a
no,
little bit.
it actually was kind of funny because Hiram's probably like, oh great, what's he gonna say? But no, he was up in the hospital, and Sophie kept I don't know, pestering is probably the wrong word, but
Messaging.
persistently texting several people in the family, including Hyrum, that hey, I want to come up and see you, and see how you're doing. And Hiram's like, well, I don't know, and he keeps talking to me. I'm like, Hiram, what is it going to hurt to have Sophie come up? You've had everybody else come up except her. Like, how does this work? And then he's like, all right, fine, let's have her come up. And and she came up, and and then they were inseparable after that, and I'm sure they could share more of that. But it was just, like Hiram said, he's kind of a slow mover, and he's just like, I can't quite decide what I want to do here. I've got cancer. I'm hanging out in the hospital. I don't really want her to see me, in my sexy gown.
Oh.
What am I gonna do?
Well, that's fun from Jeremy's point of view. Tell us a little bit, Hyrum and Sophie, about that first time reconnecting after the mission. Hyrum, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was definitely, it was just hard for me to like see everybody, because I'm just like, and especially because like I can't move at this moment because my back's broken. So I'm basically missing a vertebrae. So it's like, it was like hard to move around and stuff. So you just feel kind of like almost down, because you're just like, I can't do anything really. And like somebody always has to be there to like put my brace on so that I can actually like get around and stuff. So it was like hard for me to like let my friends see me like that. But as soon as my friends came up, and this was my best friend and his girlfriend and Sophie, which was like, basically we were inseparable during COVID. And then it just felt like old times when we all got back together. And me and our friends, we love to play board games. So we got out a board game, put it on that hospital table, and all played together. And it brought back old memories. And Sophie was the same as usual, just beautiful and friendly. And from there, yeah, we kept hanging out and, playing our board games together.
I love it. Sophie, tell us a little bit about your experience, that reconnection for you.
Yeah. So yeah, Hyrum was right. We really didn't write at all on the mission. We kind of went our separate ways, which was really good for us because we kind of grew individually, and then being able to come back together was great. But when I first found out Hyrum had cancer, I heard from his best friend, and it was at first just kind of like he was coming home, and then he texted and was like, oh, he hurt his back, and then, oh, he's gonna die. Like, so it was very like a lot of emotions all at once because I kept getting little pieces of information. And so I was like, oh wow, like, I mean, this is serious. Like, and I mean, there were maybe a few hard feelings towards Hyrum a little bit, just because, you know, we hadn't talked to each other. I was really in love with him before his mission. And so, but then once I found out he had cancer, I was like this is so much bigger than, you know, hard feelings with someone. And so, you know, I reached out to a bunch of people, like Jeremy said, and finally was able to go up. And I mean, I was pretty nervous. I had like Hyrum said, his best friend and his girlfriend actually his best friend was still in his mission, so it was just his girlfriend that came up with me, and she was a great support, and just, you know, and I brought a milkshake and kind of broke the ice, and it just kind of, you know, slowly worked out. I'm like, oh yeah, Hyrum's the same, you know, I mean, I still love him, and there was nothing but, I mean, yeah, I couldn't not be with him and see him, you know, especially at the beginning of just a friend, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. So tell us a little bit of Sophie, how did it progress from there from your perspective?
I mean, we really just spent a ton of time together. You know, I came up to the hospital when I could. I remember, like, hey, when he was home, like, let's go get smoothies, or, you know, and let's watch a movie together. And I mean, we had to really communicate with each other, because I mean, Hyrum was very sick. We didn't know what was going to happen. And I knew I wanted a relationship, but, you know, Hyrum's a little bit more, you know, he didn't know if he wanted to pursue me, especially because he might be gone in the near future. You know, we had no idea. So, but I kind of just persisted and said, you know, I want to be with you. This is important to, you know, you're important to me. I really don't care that you have cancer. Like, I felt like meant to be with someone who is sick. I love serving and helping others. That's like my love language. And so I just felt like, I'm like, this is kind of what I was meant to do in my life, is be with someone who needed a little bit extra help, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love that. And it's so, you're so perfect for Hyrum, because Hyrum's just kind of chill. Like, he doesn't like to, like, he loves when other people make decisions, and he goes along with it. So to have somebody who's like persistent and like, okay, like, I'm pursuing you, let's do this. It's just so perfect. And I think it's so good for Hyrum, and it's been so fun to watch and to hear, you know, some background on Hyrum. And I love people. I love personalities. And so, you know, there's been lots of conversations with Jerry and I about, tell me about Hyrum and who he is, and how he shows up in his life. And so it's been so fun to see the balance that you bring to the table for him. And you know, I can relate. I had to pursue this guy. So they need women that will pursue them. So it makes sense to me.
I have a question for you, and that is, I know that, at least I think I know, that if I had the diagnosis like what you have, which is cancer, I would not be wanting to do a relationship, because I wouldn't want to cause them a great deal of pain. So, what did you think when she said, well, you know, I'm going to be your girlfriend and I'll be sad, or I can be your wife and I'll still be sad? Either way, I'm going to be sad. So I don't understand the problem here. What did you think?
Yeah, that was definitely, it was very hard for me. And that was like really the only thing keeping us. Like, we probably would have been married before if it wasn't for the fact that I had cancer. And that was definitely something that mentally I was like, I couldn't wrap my head around. I'm like, I could be gone in 2 months. Like, and this is when I was quite sick. So I'm like, I just didn't know. I'm like, I don't even know if I'll make it to the wedding. So I'm like, I didn't want to put Sophie through this big heartbreak. I mean, but like she said, I mean, either way, she's going to be heartbroken. And she's like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And I wanted to too. And so we just decided, you can't live your life in fear that you're going to, get in a car wreck so you don't do anything. You do it, and you do whatever's going to make you the most happy. And you just hope that everything's going to work out and that, God's on your side. And he has been for this entire adventure for us.
Wow.
Regardless of what happens, you have both got something that is rare. I can tell you that the love between you, it's obvious, and it's rare that a lot of people go through life and never have love like that. Dana's my coach. She'll tell you about that part.
That's
So, you guys, I admire you both. And Sophie, I got to tell you, you amaze me. It's just simply amaze me. Congratulations.
Yeah, they have been incredible examples, I think, of just living life in the moment and to really make decisions that are going to just make you happy. And let's do this. And, to see their love story unfold. There's been many nights, we've had conversations or teared up quite a bit about them, and we love them. And I think it's incredible the open-heartedness that and the courage that Sophie has displayed for all of us and everyone listening. Like, this is a great example, and you never know when your time's up. You never know when your loved one's time is up. So take advantage, take this moment and make sure that you message someone or give extra hugs and share love today. Because that's what Hyrum and Sophie are showing us here. That's what they're displaying for us. And we're lucky enough that we get reminded of it regularly. And, it's just one of those internal things that we experience. And I don't even know if Sophie and Hyrum know the impact and the conversations that have gone on between me and Jerry in the background, but they inspire us regularly to do our best and to live life to the fullest. So it's been incredible.
Sophie, does Dana cry like that all the time, or is it just when she's on the show?
She cries quite a bit, but my mom is the same way. So I'm used to it. And I mean, I think tears are, they express emotion, and I I think crying is a beautiful thing. So, and my mom's done it for years, so I'm used to it by now.
Normal. This is normal. My mom too. So it's very normal in my world, and I think the Meldrums are getting used to it.
That is true. Yeah. Getting used to the emotion part. We are movers and shakers and goers and those type of things. And there's been a couple of real blessings that have come from this in my life, that I think as listeners here, we get to be reminded once again is Hyrum very little, he almost never complains about cancer. I've heard more, complaints from Sophie than I've heard from Hyrum, and Hyrum's the one cancer, And I mean, he has been, I just can't even tell you how miraculous that has been to see that. 'Cause I think if I had cancer like that, I'm not sure if I would be as positive and chipper as Hyrum has throughout this experience. And Sophie could tell you too, he just doesn't complain a lot about it, And so that's something, seeing the cup half full in our life. And, all of us are given or receive, a bag of rocks or whatever, and it's kind of, what do we do with them? Do we take those edges off them? Do we polish them up, and do we, take some of them out, and some of the others we carry with us? But at the same time, what do we do with them? And how do we live our life? And how do we bless other people's lives? Because as we bless other people's lives, we bless our own.
It's true. And I just want to clarify, Sophie doesn't complain. Sophie just tells us the reality of what's going on with Hyrum. I'm good, I'm fine. And Sophie she informs us. That's really what Jared's saying there with Sophie's just real. She's real with us about what's going on with Hyrum and how he's doing. And that's been a wonderful thing, wonderful quality. So yeah. Okay, well, tell us a little bit about what has life been like. Actually, let's talk a little bit about the wedding, and let's just share a little bit of like what are some of your favorite moments. What was that like, that wedding for you guys? Because Sophie, it happened so fast. Just so the listeners know, the engagement and the wedding was pulled off in 30 days. Soph?
Yeah, so yeah, we got engaged in March, and like the 1st of March, and the wedding was the 1st of April. So yeah, 1 month. Yeah.
And this just shows what an incredible planner and executor Sophie is. She rocked that whole experience, and it was so much fun to watch her just take charge and make that happen and make it beautiful. So tell us about your guys' experience through that process.
And you might think it was like a small wedding to be able to do it that fast and everything, but we have a lot of family. And so there were probably around 500 people there at the wedding.
At the reception, yeah.
Yeah, so it was big, let's just say. And like the line to talk to us was like out the door.
Yes.
Eventually we just had to like just shake people's hands and not even talk because there was just too many people and everybody wanted to say hi. So and I just kept thinking, like, I'm like, man, does this line like ever end? Like, I'm like, I didn't even realize I knew this many people. But it was a really fun experience, and just it was
what was
really
one of your favorite moments, Hyrum?
Oof. That's gonna be hard. Probably, I think it was the ceremony. I loved the ceremony, and we had our bishop from our church there, and he's just the funniest guy, and he cracked a couple jokes and and I mean, I just love that guy as well. So, and I love my wife, and I guess that was the most special experience for me as well, and probably had the highest emotions, and so that's probably why it sticks to me as much.
Yeah, well, first off, we had so much help. Like I could not have pulled off that 1 month planning wedding without, I mean, so many people donated things, donated their time. I mean, it was really quite amazing to see everyone come together, help me out. And so yeah, I had so much help. Could not have done it without so many people. And and I mean, I loved pretty much everything about our wedding. It was, my dream come true. I've been planning my wedding since I was probably 5 years old. So just finally experiencing what I've wanted for years was amazing. And yeah, the ceremony was beautiful. And yeah, it just was really great to be able to stand up in front of everyone we loved and express our love to each other and be together, forever. And but and I love just being with all our family and friends. It was great.
Yeah. Something that's with us and Sophie is family is very, very important to us.
Number one. Yeah.
Number one is family. Family, they are my best friends. Like, actually, I've got 4 younger brothers and an older sister, and we still hang out all the time, just like we're best friends. So I think that was just awesome to be able to all get together as a family at the wedding as well.
I think that's awesome. By the way, I love you too. I love your energy, and I want you guys to commit something to me, if you wouldn't mind, right now. And that is, I want to have you guys back But I'm kind of full, so I've got 2030 available on this.
Okay. Yes, I will be there. I will be there. Let's do it.
I want to book you in for that, and I also want you to know that I've been telling everybody that is in my world that you guys were going to come on, and I have got such a group of people who care for you. They support you. They're praying for you. They're sending energy your way. They're doing everything within our power to make sure that 2030, which you'll be 28, 29,
Yep, something like that.
that happens, and you can come back and your story. And by the way, you got a book in you too. Did you know that?
Oh,
There you go.
gotta get right in.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, take your time. You got a lot. You got a long
I
time.
got many years, so we're good.
Yeah. So Hyrum and Sophie are very adventurous, and they have really done it, I think, a fabulous job of having lots of adventures together. And it's very apparent as we chat. And tell us a little bit about some of the highlight moments that have been some of the best moments together since your marriage. Some of the trips or the experiences that you guys have had that have been really fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our lives are a lot different than most couples, so we really have to pack it all in, you know. We try to do a lot in the little amount of time that we have. And so, I mean, we're constantly, I mean, I love to travel personally, so, you know, trips are a big thing for us.
Yeah. We recently went to what is it, Oahu? Wait,
Oh yeah, Oahu, Hawaii.
Oahu, Hawaii, and went to the Polynesian Cultural Center, and I guess all the beaches and everything, and that was a very cool experience. And just to see the culture, to see Hawaii. I mean, it's Hawaii. What can I say?
Now, did you go snorkeling at all?
Yes, we did go snorkeling as well.
That is if you can do that, that is the coolest thing in the world, to go to Hawaii and snorkel.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, but yeah, we take, you know, many trips. We go to Vegas. We went to Vegas recently. We've, you know,
Red
gone to California
32.
a little bit. 32.
Red 32.
Yeah, we gambled for our first time. pretty exciting.
Next time you go to Vegas, I want you to take a $5 chip and put it on Red 32.
Red 32. Okay, I'm gonna double my
Sounds
money.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll more than that. You'll like 32 it by
32 it. Okay.
32-1.
Hey man, I like that.
I like those odds.
yeah. So Red 32. Remember that.
Okay, Red 32. I gotcha.
I love it.
I gotta tell you, you guys are sensational. But there's something that I want to bring up here so that everybody's aware of it, and so we have it on tape, and so it'll be tape. Good God, I'm old.
It's okay, Kevin. We know what you mean.
we have it digitally formatted so that Dana, I'd like you and Jeremy to talk about what you guys are planning to help with taking a big ass trip with the entire family and everything. Explain what you're doing.
Okay, so
Well, also we've had some additional recent things, and this is why.
Yeah. So
right?
yeah.
So just recently in the last 2 to 3 weeks, we have had kind of a new development. Because Hyrum, you know, he was actually doing pretty good after all his chemo and everything else. You know, things were looking up and up. You know, that 8 centimeter mass had shrunk from 8.621, and then it just started kind of getting a little bit bigger. And Hyrum's had very little pain, and which is a miracle.
Which the doctors are saying they can't even understand why. He has cancer up his spine, and his from my understanding of the scans, his spine is not like very supported. You know, he broke it. It's still it's
missing
basically
vertebrae,
missing vertebrae,
you know, you're minus
but
one.
zero pain. So I want to give gratitude and really share we believe that that's a miracle, that Hyram's had quality of life, and that we, especially for him, because man, these Meldrums, they're movers. They love to be doing things, going, and we really do think and really recognize that that is a gift from God to all of us, that he's had very little pain, and that we've been able to really function and enjoy and have fun and see him playing pickleball and doing all these fun things with us and interacting almost as if. And so with this recent experience, it's again brought a really heightened awareness of how precious Hyram's life actually really is.
And so a couple weeks ago, Hyrum started getting headaches, and Hyrum never gets headaches. You know, we're talking about, you know, pain-free for the most part. And so after a week or two, he decided, he's like, you know what? I think I've got a problem. This headache's getting really, really bad. And so he sits down on a Sunday and decides he's going to start Googling it to figure out what's going on.
Not telling Sophie.
Not telling.
Yes, I knew none of this.
He told his best friends, not Sophie.
Yes.
Not me.
I didn't want to worry her needlessly, you know, like just in case it was nothing. I didn't want to upset her.
No, you're incredible, Hyrum. I love that fun fact.
And so he figures out, he's so like, sweet. You know what? I think I have a tumor. And so he calls the doctor, says, hey, I need to come in for scans now. I have a really bad headache. And so they got him in. He had him, you know, scan their head, and he was right. He actually did have a tumor, which was pretty rough, because we're not talking just like a little, you know, speck in there. We're talking an avocado. Okay. Avocado-sized tumor in his head. You know, I've seen the scans, and it's big. I was shocked, you know. So that was just yet another shock where we're just like, wow, I thought we were moving in the right direction and everything else. And then all of a sudden, we're in the hospital, and ironically, and we can let Sophie share this if she wants to real quick, but you know, it happens to be their anniversary. So
surprise.
Yep.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your 1-year anniversary and what that was like.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, first off, I had no idea Hyrum was thinking it was a brain tumor. We went up to the hospital, got an MRI, and the doctor comes in and says, you know, you have a brain tumor. And I just was floored, you know, like I was not expecting that. And me being 22 years old, I was like, I do not want to, where's my mom? Where's my, like, I should not be here. Like, I am not old enough to make decisions about this kind of stuff. And, you know, but, you know, it all worked out, and, he ended up getting surgery, getting the tumor removed. And yeah, our anniversary is April 10th and 11th. We had 2 different ceremonies. Based on our church. But anyway, so yeah, we were up at the hospital, and I knew Hyrum was heading into surgery on the day of our anniversary. So I was like, well, we should have everyone come up, you know, we can have a little party, I guess, for Hyrum specifically, but then also, you know, celebrate our anniversary a little bit. And it was amazing. We had all of Jeremy's siblings come. My family came. We had so many people come up.
Only, guys, standing room only.
That's right. And I mean, we really there's only supposed to be 4 people in the hospital room, but we had a good probably 20, 25. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people. We were lucky. Yeah. The nurses were so kind to just let us, you know, be. But yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of funny because the last time that we got, I guess you could say, like, bad news was actually on my birthday. So we're just like, okay, what's next? Whose birthday's next? We got to watch out on that day.
On that day.
They seem to schedule those type of, well, or my body just decides to schedule things on those days. So maybe it's so you get like the highest high and low, so it evens it out.
Yeah.
I always say I'm the luckiest, like I'm the unluckiest lucky guy, because I'm so unlucky because I'm a 20-year-old with cancer, but I seem to handle everything so well. I mean, I had brain surgery, like 10 days ago?
It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I've been going to work and everything, and it's not a small cut. Like they cut me from the bottom of my ear all the way to the top. So like,
and he was out of the hospital. He had surgery, and then 2 days later, he was out of the hospital. We were all like, "Do they know he had brain surgery? Like, is that are they aware that he just had brain surgery?" But yeah, he's been doing awesome since.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dana.
No, you go, and then I'll go after you.
I was going to just say that I talked to Dana because she said that you were going to have this done, and it was like, oh crap. My brother had stage 4 lung cancer, and that had metastasized into a brain tumor as well. And so I knew the potential of how bad it could be. And then the next time I talked to her, she's like, oh yeah, well, what happened with the surgery? And well, they did the surgery, they got everything, and it was it didn't penetrate the brain, and it was like okay, and so it was like, well, okay, you're right, you're a very unlucky young man.
Very resilient. He's very resilient. Yeah. So with that new the new information, it really has brought to light something for us, and we started talking about, okay, what can we do to really soak up as much of Hyrum as we can, as if we're just living as if these are his last moments, because we don't know. And we would love to, we want to have Hyrum as long as possible. Absolutely. That's what we're praying for. That's what we're calling everyone to bring their purse for.
But it is one of the most aggressive cancers on earth.
It is. It's one of the more aggressive cancers, and there's some seriousness to it. And so with that, we started talking, and Hyrum and Sophie love traveling. We all love traveling, actually. Let's be honest.
2 things: traveling and family.
Traveling and family. Like, it just doesn't get any better to all of the Meldrums, those 2 things, right? And so with that, I started talking, and I was like, we've got to do a GoFundMe and make something really wonderful happen, and to not really add any additional financial strain to an already financially tight situation. A GoFundMe I thought would be wonderful, and being on Kevin's show and being here and being so connected to other communities, I thought, this is an opportunity for us to really make something enjoyable, make a really wonderful memory together, and more. But we really want to have a trip. And as we started talking with Sophie and Hyrum, they really want to go to Florida, and we want to do a trip to Florida with Jeremy's 6 kids, and one's married, so there's a little bit more there too. I mean, 2 are married, you guys and Ash, and so it's quite pricey to pay for a large family to go on a trip. And so we have taken the time to put together a GoFundMe for this. And as we started talking, and as we're going through this, we also would love to prepay for everything that Hyrum would need for a funeral. And not knowing, how long that's going to be, how much time he has left, we would love to have this GoFundMe have more than enough for a family trip, the funeral, to have a wonderful celebration of life when that time comes, and to not have any conversations around who's paying for what or how we're going to bring that money together. And so I really have put a lot of my heart and time and energy into creating this GoFundMe to really bring together a community of people to support this cause. And anything above and beyond that, we're absolutely giving all funds to Hyrum and Sophie. We want Sophie to feel supported beyond the end of life, and Hyrum too, and for them to have plenty to be supported. So We will put the links to that in the show notes so that everyone has that link, so that that is available. And please, I mean, go on there. We've made an incredible video of their story and a little bit of from our perspective, and go on there, find that GoFundMe and share it with people, share it with those that you love, share this story, because they really are a couple that I believe can inspire a lot of us to open our hearts and love better, love deeper, love more, and the importance of family and loving those around us. So,
Oh, I have a thought.
yes.
and just the way this is just the way I am. This is Positive Talk Radio, you know. And so I think that if the GoFundMe does well and you can go on the trip and you can come back, take the rest and put it in the college funds for the kids. That's what I would, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would suggest you do. But I got to tell you, you guys are spectacular human beings, and Sophie, you are just an amazing woman, and you. I don't know if I can say anything other than that. You're just amazing.
Yes. Just as we're wrapping things up, I would love to hear from each of you. What would you say is your number one takeaway from this experience that you feel has made you a better person? What is this experience of life together, and through this, what has it done for you as individuals?
First, I think what I've realized is that you need to enjoy every day, right? Even when you're having a crappy day, you need to find something to enjoy about that day. And believe me, I mean, I've had crappy days. I mean, when you go up to the hospital to do chemo, it doesn't feel great, but you need to find something to do to enjoy that day and to, I guess, make a memory. And that's kind of what, because I guess you never know when it's going to be your last, and those are something that people are going to have forever to remember you by, is those memories. And that's something that you actually leave behind in this world when you go, is those memories that you've made with people. And so try to make some good ones. I guess that's what I would say.
Thank you.
To add a little bit to Hyram's, I think we don't want people to think we don't have bad days, because we do, and it's okay to have bad days. I mean, you know, it's hard sometimes, and everyone has hard things, and so I think, you know, making aware that there are bad days, but, you know, just do a little something to, you know, lift your spirits or serve someone or whatever. But to know that it's okay to have a bad day, because there are bad days, unfortunately. But one thing that I've taken away from this trial is to really just kind of look one day ahead. You know, like I have no idea what my future will look like, what Hyram's future will look like. It's really not helpful for me to look in 10, you know, a year in advance, 10 years, you know, because I don't know what it will look like. And really none of us do, but mine especially looks very different. So, you know, taking it one day at a time and not getting overwhelmed with the future and the sadness that it will most likely bring. And so, you know, just one day, even, and sometimes it's 1 hour, you know, just continually looking ahead just a short ways, you know, what can I do tomorrow to make things feel better, but not stressing about the future, I guess.
I love that. I love that. And I think to kind of sum that beautiful message up for our listeners and our viewers, don't have a life circumstance force you into living in the present moment. Choose, like, cultivate that strength, practice that. What Hyrum and Sophie are saying is actually a message that all of us deserve to hear and implement. It's one thing to know something. Knowledge isn't really power. It's applied knowledge where the wisdom and real power comes. And so take this time and take this invitation to heart and practice living in the moment. Bring yourself present. And a simple way to do that is just breathing. When you find your mind just spinning off into the future possibilities, fear, taking a deep breath and just bringing yourself into the moment, finding one thing that you're grateful for can change that in a moment. And it's something that all of us can do. And so thank you so much for that message. Jerry, is there anything that you want to share that is a takeaway or a message?
Yeah, in addition to what has been said, something that I have had to learn, in my own personal circumstances and having, some of these hard things with Hyrum is to be gentle on yourself, right? Mm-hmm. There are 1 to 2 days a week that, many times I just kind of put my hand on my heart and just say, I forgive you, And I think that is an important message for everyone because, many times we can be hard on ourselves. There's lots of what ifs in your life, all those kind of things. And to learn to be more gentle on yourself can bless you, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually in the long run. And generally people that are happy and more gentle on themselves live a longer life. So, just in general. So that would be my message to everyone is to just be more forgiving to yourself, and then keep things in perspective because it's easy to do day-to-day, the day-to-day grind. So.
Especially if you're a recovering perfectionist like me, that is great advice. Great advice.
I want to thank the four of you for being here. And I just got to say, Hyrum and Sophie, I can't think of two better people to have in my corner as those two people, Jeremy and Dana. They are phenomenal human beings, and as you guys are. So, and your whole family. And trips and family are fun, but it's best when you can do them all together. So let's all get behind this and let's all support the GoFundMe. Dana, how do they get that done again? How do they find it?
The link to the GoFundMe will be in the show notes. And there you can read a little bit more about the story or I've made a wonderful video to share a little bit more in depth of our experience so that you can really, really connect and understand this wonderful, inspiring story.
So go to it will be in the show notes. So, but it's also going to be now. Where's the video? The full video, the 15-minute video, going to be?
It's on GoFundMe.
Yes, and so it'll be a link. It'll be shown within the GoFundMe, and so you can just hit play from right there. You can share the video with other people. You can share the GoFundMe with other people. All of that will be fully available and shareable.
Yeah.
So
and
even if
I do want to say thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for seeing this and being willing to share. Every little bit counts. Every little bit matters to us, sharing positive messages. We've outlined in there how you can support and what that looks like. So GoFundMe makes it really easy for us to do this.
And I just want to say for the Brushwood Media people that you may not know them, but they're wonderful human beings, and go support it. So and go to GoFundMe, and if they go to GoFundMe, how do they get to your page?
We'll link the exact page in the show notes, so it'll just take them straight to the page.
Awesome.
I mean, they could even go to GoFundMe and Google Hyrum Meldrum, and it'll probably come up too. I think almost every single time. So Hyrum. But either one of those, the show notes have the direct link, or Google will also take you there. Google knows everything, unfortunately.
Yeah, you also can find me, my social media, Dana Parker, and we'll have links there on my social media pages also. So that's another way for those of you that are listening that are following me.
And anybody have anything else they'd like to add before we go?
Just thank you guys so much for having us and let us share a little bit of our story.
Thank you
Now,
so much.
Before we go, did you have a good time?
Yeah, we had a great
Absolutely,
time.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you guys. Oh, to be young again, I tell you. I really appreciate you guys. Dana, thank you for putting this together.
Thank you so
Jeremy,
much,
thank you
Kevin.
for finally, after 4 years, coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And go to the GoFundMe. Give a little bit, five, whatever. Just give a little bit, anything at all. So again, thank you, everybody. You guys wait right there. I'll be right back. Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. That's Kevin@kmmedia.pro.